This is Dabu 7. A heads up here as we got emergency alerts going out stating that the largest U.S. power grid has declared this emergency amid all this heat, and they're talking about cascading events or rolling blackouts that are going to be going into effect. We've seen this over the past couple days, a lot of this associated with this heat dome that it seems like someone has parked right over this country and has just moved it from the west slowly toward the east, and this has caused a lot of problems for a lot of people. Right now they're saying that people in the Midwest and Northeast are dealing with this, and that the grid operators have taken this to level 1, which affects tens of millions of people. And right now the PJM interconnection is saying that this is at level 1 in 13 states. That stretches from Illinois to New Jersey. That's 65 million customers within that range that you can see here. And, what's crazy is with everything that this Biden regime has been trying to do, and in the name of climate, this and that, check this out. When it comes to what's really carrying the load here, gas, coal, and nuclear. Gas, look how big of a chunk of coal is carrying the load. Yet in many states, like my own even, they've come through and tried to decimate the selling of coal because of their scam. But it's truly what keeps the lights on in these crunch situations. And that is the latest here with this emergency. Wanted to make people aware of it in case you start to see more rolling blackouts. They've already announced that they will happen when needed. So, depending on where you're at in the situation, just know anyone here on this PJM interconnection, you could see rolling blackouts sooner than later. I'll leave links. Join me for the live streams where I break this down further, and follow me on Twitter for breaking information. Much love.
Hey, Shalom Akim, Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Bashim Rakakadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. And within the gospel, brother, from the standard of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is just going to be a real quick lesson, nothing too deep, but straight to the point. Rolling blackouts, grid outages, all reverting to climate lockdowns. It's possible that this current administration can establish lockdowns because, from the WEF, from cotton swab to these detestable Edomites, they're all talking about climate change, which in fact, you're the one that's responsible for climate change because the scriptures say that the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Okay, and you are definitely the wicked that the Bible talks about, Esau. Okay, no ifs, ands, or buts. You're definitely the wicked. All right, so like this guy Dabu mentioned, he said it seems like somebody just drove a vacuum right over the Midwest from the east coast to the west coast to the east coast to the Midwest. It literally feels like a vacuum. Okay, like it's just like a plot of hot air that just concentrated on this particular area, and we know that the Midwest is pretty much one of the bread baskets of the world, so it makes sense that this place will get the utmost heat. Like yesterday, 24-hour maintenance came in, and I was talking to him, man. He was like, look, AC is doing exactly what it's supposed to do because they're rated by region, okay, with certain voltages and certain parameters that these things are able to function based on the demographics. So they have to be at a certain setting, operating to a particular frequency in order to cool the house down based on the average temperature of the region that you're in. But we've been overly hot in the Midwest for the last, 19, 21, like 5-6 years, man. It's been just a melting pot here in the Midwest. So something is definitely going on here. But nonetheless, in the spiritual aspect, these are nothing more but the plagues of the Heavenly Father because the scriptures told us these things will happen. You see what I'm saying? And it's been hot. Like, I ain't gonna cap. Like, yesterday night, they said that the high was 88 yesterday night, but when I looked at the index was more like 95, 96 degrees. Okay, and it was just humid as all hell. You know, because they want to be justifying on shutting the grid down and getting, it's all about establishing this new world order. Okay, so you can expect more cataclysmic events like I believe it was it this year? In the wintertime, we had that overly cold day for like 2-3 days. It was just cold as hell for no reason. Okay, you know, like below 20 or something like that, man. We had like 2-3 days of that stuff. And it was crazy. So, you know, this is all being controlled by the elites, but really is the Most High. All right, so it says a heat wave continued to blast through the Midwest, Northeast, and South through the end of the work week, forcing the largest U.S. grid operator to declare a level 1 emergency for Thursdays as tens of millions of people crank up air conditioners to escape scorching temperatures as the summer in the northern hemisphere peaks. And I noticed even in my car, man, I'm thinking that my AC was going dead, but it was just that hot outside. You see what I'm saying? But when today I turned on the AC, it wasn't nearly as bad, though it's hot out there now, but it was not nearly as bad as it was yesterday because of the humidity. You know, cranked up the AC today. Now it's functioning at an optimal rate. But yesterday, I'm like, I got to go and recharge this thing, you know, but it wasn't nothing wrong with it. It's full of, you know, the Freon is good in it. I got a lot of coolant in it, so it's just working extra hard because of the frigid temperatures, the hot frigid temperatures, you know, which this is all by design, which is all part of the judgments, man, because I'm not going to lie, this place needs to suffer, man, you know, but unfortunately the prophets were going to be in the midst of a fallen kingdom, which actually is not really unfortunate because the scriptures say, blessed be the man that liveth to see the downfall of his enemies, man, you know. So it says, conditions to escape scorching temperatures as summer in the northern hemisphere peaks. It says on Wednesday evening, which was yesterday, the PJM Interconnection LLC declared an emergency or energy emergency alert level 1 in 13 states that stretch from Illinois to New Jersey with over 65 million customers. It says the PJM is concerned about maintaining adequate power reserves on Thursday as power demands is set to soar because of air conditioners. Yep. It says it expects the demand to reach about 153,286 megawatts as a 1700 ET and has about 186,000 megawatts of generating capacity. And they're saying basically the grid is being overloaded, okay? Because if you look up the infrastructure of America, from the infrastructure to the bridges, to the roads, to the grids, they read about a derating. Okay, for one thing, the grid is overloaded anyway. They outdated, you know what I'm saying? But this is another way of Esau Edom to capitalize on corporate greed, man. You know, he's capitalizing on people because for one thing, you have countries in rural areas, so therefore you don't have to be on the grid. You can have your own solar power systems, which like energy. Why am I paying for gas and heat and electricity when the Most High gives it to us free? You know, the sun is in the sky every morning, whether it be clouds or clouds. You see what I'm saying? The sun is always rising, whether you can see it or not. That's free. That's a free source of energy. You have natural gas that comes out of the earth. That's a free source of energy. You have water. You have wells. You have cisterns. That's a free source of what do you call it? Resources, man. But yeah, you're being taxed for it. Like, in no way in hell that Esau Edom is charging you a water bill when you can get the shit free. But according to him, well, you know, we have to treat it. You have to run it through our systems. We have to do X. And no, you wouldn't have to treat the water if you didn't destroy everything that you touch. You see? But it says the power mix of grid shows natural gas, coals, and nuclear are doing the most heavy lifting of 600 ET. Power prices across the grid appear normal. And another thing, too, a point I wanted to make was the simple fact that, wait a minute, you know, you have rural areas, you have countries, right? So why are you trying to build on country land? You know, you have thousands of acres in America that's completely farms, but yet this man is building over the farms and building up infrastructures, building up cities, and he's putting them all over on an overloaded grid, which you're causing a problem. But it's all to bring in disruption out of chaos. That's what it's all about. Esau knows what he's doing is counterproductive, but he don't give a shit, you know? But it says the surge in above average temperatures for the lower 48 is expected to peak on Friday and return to normal levels for this time of year. But according to Bloomberg data, it says the 5, 10, and 30-year average temperatures shown in northern hemisphere summer has peaked. And it has gotten hotter, but that's due to Esau's cloud seeding. That's due to his genetically modified experiments. You know, all the things that he's pumping into the atmosphere, Esau is creating a chaotic situation. You know, but it says before corporate media blames human-induced climate change on power grids, we must know that PJM's reliability has worsened because of the federal and state decarbonization policies, okay, which I haven't really looked into that for real, but that's actually a good look into. America's largest power grid faces worsening reliability risks. I'm going to have to go into this. I'm going to actually have to read it. I'm going to have to read it when I get a chance, but this is interesting how Esau creates his own playbook, you know, what he thinks he is, you know. But nonetheless, this is all the will of the Heavenly Father. Luke 12:49, it says, I am come to send fire on the earth, and what would I be if it already be kindled? So, hey, there's going to be a fire on the earth, physical fire, spiritual fire, hell. Okay, when I say hell, meaning that, you know, you're going to be in dire straits, man. People are literally going to catch hell from the conditions they're living in. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you pay attention, man, people are trying to, you know, they're trying to make the ends right with us now. You know, people calling and shit, trying to be cool now. You know, nah, man, don't fucking call me. You know what I'm saying? We ain't even on that tip. But, you know, we in them times, people are seeing what the men of the Lord have been speaking about. You see what I'm saying? Now all hell is getting ready to break loose. People are going to start, you know, they're going to stop questioning our stance and no. But for majority of you, it's going to be too late, you know. But regardless of it, judgment of the Heavenly Father, like I said, this wasn't going to be a long lesson, but let's just get a couple more precepts. 2nd Ezra 16, and I'm going to start at verses 14. It says, behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. Okay, these are plagues, okay, the plagues of darkness, which plagued ancient Egypt during the time of Moses and Aaron, when we went before Pharaoh to plead for the children of Israel to be released to serve our power, our God. And what did Pharaoh do? He hardened his heart. So the Most High brought plagues of darkness. Now, these grid outages, yeah, they're intentional, but it's going to come a day that this thing is going to shut down and it's not going to come back on for some time. Just me speaking as a man, what I think, and just my personal opinion, I may be wrong about it, but I think, honestly speaking, that during the time of the collapse, the economic collapse, for them to threaten people into taking this micro C-HIP, I believe that they're going to actually shut the grid, or they're going to do some type of EMP. Because regardless of it is, in order for them to bring up this new and upcoming system, they're going to have to break this old grid and this old infrastructure down so the new technology can be able to function at an optimal pace. Okay, that new technology, as far as with this AI shit and all this smart meter nonsense, man, this CHIP, it's too powerful to correspond or to be compatible with this current infrastructure. So therefore, this is why they're constantly doing upgrades to it, to the point they may just flask an EMP over the country. And if an EMP hits this country, nobody's going nowhere for a long time. Okay, you may have planes that are going to fall out the sky, though you do have planes now that's equipped with new technology to withstand EMP strikes. Okay, but the cities are going to go dark. Vehicles is not going to work. You know, if you got a vehicle, I believe like in the 90s and up, your shit ain't going to start, man. Because those ECUs, those computers that's programmed into your modules, into your transmission, all those things are linked up to a computer. So if your ECU is out, you ain't cranking that engine up, because it's like a device in it that reads from the computer to tell the engine to start up. Though technically you should be able to run a vehicle without a computer. Okay, you should be able to run a vehicle just off water alone. Energy, you know what I'm saying? Electricity, these things. But now everything is linked up to these chips. So you better believe that, hey, you got anything new? You got a 2023? You better believe that car ain't going to start up, man. You're going to be stranded. You're going to have to walk or find you a manual bike or a skateboard. You know what I'm saying? Because the manual scooters, they ain't going to work. Shit, you know. Cell phones, they're going to go down. So you're going to have to go back to the old way of life, man. Them, what they call them, what's them old signals? I forgot what they used to call, but you know, sending out them distress signals. But it says here, the fire was kindled and should not be put out till it consumed the foundation of the earth, which is the missiles. Like as an arrow that is shot of a mighty archer, returning not backwards, even so the plagues that should be sent upon the earth should not return again, okay? Because once this thing is done, it's done. It's a done deal, okay? The Most High is going to break this place down in its totality to never be built up again. But it says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? Okay, woe is me, woe is me, woe is destruction. Prophet Esdras is asking who would deliver him in these days, because he's seen it in a vision. The angel showed him when he desired to have more revelation and understanding about the end. When the angel told him to fast 7 days, fuck out of here, man. Salakia. Damn fucking midgets, man. You know, when he desired to see the end, the angel told him he got to fast yet 7 more days to declare these things unto him. And he did just that. And this is the reason why you have these prophecy, these breakdowns here. But it says, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, and the beginning of famine and great death. It says the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, and the beginning of evils. But what should I do when these evils come? Okay, that's a question. You know, but hey, we're going to pray and we're going to keep Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai first, man. You know, scriptures goes into how the city should be casted down. And that's exactly what's going to happen. The city's going to be casted down. Got your ass. You know. But anyway, with that, brothers, like I said, this is just a quick lesson. Giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Bashim Kakwadash. And with that, Shalom and Abba Shalom.